The report, per Don Van Natta Jr. on ESPN, important to give credit where credit is due, is that in 2015, per the story, the Dallas Cowboys paid a confidential settlement of $2.4 million after 4 members of their cheerleading squad accused a senior team executive of voyeurism in their locker room as they undressed. So the allegations, per the documents picked up by ESPN and people with knowledge of the situation that talked to Van Natta Jr., say that that person is Rich Dalrymple, the former head or vice president for public relations and communications, who just retired. And so I understand the questions that go along with this. Is each woman allegedly received $400,000? It says the accusation is for 4, so I'm not sure where the other $800,000 went, if it was for 2 people unrelated to this incident, if it went to something else. I'm still trying to figure that out as we were kind of reading the story in the break. Is that if that was the case, why did he stay on for 7 more years? Or there was an investigation allegedly done at the time, and the Cowboys decided, like probably a lot of corporations do, that it was just worth not getting into the hassle of it to pay it off. And Dalrymple, for the record, put out a statement that reads as follows, quote, "People who know me, coworkers, the media, and colleagues know who I am and what I'm about. I understand the very serious nature of these claims and do not take them lightly. The accusations are, however, false. One was accidental and the other simply did not happen. Everything that was alleged was thoroughly investigated years ago, and I cooperated fully." And then a communications consultant for the Cowboys said, quote, this is Jim Wilkinson, "The organization took these allegations extremely seriously and moved immediately to thoroughly investigate the matter. The investigation was handled consistent with the best legal and HR practices, and investigation found no evidence of wrongdoing." All right. So a couple things, and this can go in whatever direction y'all want. Tolos 877-881-1053 if you're interested or have your own thoughts about this. It's just weird timing that he just retired and then this story comes out. Those things don't have to be related, but if you're cynical, the thought would be, hey, these allegations are coming out if you don't retire, or we're going to expose the whole thing. Those don't have to be related, but timing-wise, it seems odd that this happened 7 years ago, and then right after he retires, this story drops. It feels like maybe somebody said, hey, it's time for you to go.
I'm trying to take in all this information, read the story while you're talking, trying to listen to you at the same time. And I'm just like, so there's no wrongdoing. It looks like Rich Dalrymple, like in his statement, you said, he's like, look, it was an accident, no wrongdoing, this and that. But yet, if it was just that, the Cowboys had to pay $2.4 million for a guy who used his access card to go into the cheerleaders locker room.
So should we lay this out as to what happened so that everybody can kind of evaluate this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, lay out the timeline.
So incident number 1, which is the thing about the cheerleaders. Apparently there was an event the cheerleaders performed, and then there were 4 cheerleaders in the locker room getting dressed, undressed, dressed, all of that.
In their own locker room.
Yes.
The cheerleading locker room.
Thank you. There's a rear entrance that has a little nook that is partitioned off with a wall where you would not be able to see who walked in from the place where the cheerleaders were changing. They heard that and that door is locked. It's a security locked door that only employees have, right? They heard the door open. They claimed, they said, we're in here. And then they heard it close, assuming that whoever had come in was maybe like a security guard and then just left. One of the cheerleaders, or the multiple cheerleaders, said that they looked and they saw a hand with a black cell phone, which they believed to be taking pictures in them, kind of protruding around the wall. One of the cheerleaders went to kind of address it, and she said, as a veteran of the cheer squad, recognized Rich Dalrymple. She was the only one who is claiming to have seen Rich. The other 4 were not in that position. That is the incident there at which she says that Rich then fled after that. That's the incident that is from the perspective of the cheerleaders that Rich Dalrymple is saying. I think the lead or the team position and Rich's position is that he went in, did not recognize that they were in there, and then turned around and left. Those are the 2 sides of that story as I understand them from the story.
Now, Dalrymple, in his statement, said the allegations had nothing to do with my retirement from a long and fulfilling career, and I was only contacted about this story after I had retired. I'm curious about where these documents came from, because they got the ESPN and Van Natta got a signed copy of this May 2016 settlement. If you're wondering, like, if it's all confidential, how the hell do we know about this? They got a copy of it. I don't know how they got a copy of it. Shady things happen in the world of journalism all the time. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have absolutely, when we worked at the newspaper, gotten documents given to me by people that I otherwise should not have had my hands on. What
do we call those, whistleblowers or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. So a signed copy of the May 2016 settlement agreement obtained by ESPN includes a non-disclosure agreement in which the four women, three of their spouses, and Cowboys officials agreed to never publicly speak about these allegations. Here's why I don't like that they put part of that in there, is because ESPN says they know the identity of the four cheerleaders, but will not reveal it. Well, if that's the case, you just tipped off that three of the four of them are married, and you know that people are going to try to figure this out. And then they also said that they reached out to those four women who either declined to be interviewed or did not respond. However, one cheerleader who was familiar with now she is not one of the people that is in the settlement, and she didn't want her name used, but she said she's familiar and said, quote, "It hurt my heart because I know how much it affected the people who were involved. It was a very shut the book, don't talk about it. This person is going to stay in his position. They just made it go away." And that is the thing that, for the record, it's not okay. I do not think it's unique to the Cowboys by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, we know it's not unique to the Cowboys, as we're looking at the Washington Now Commanders organization and all of the multiple incidents that would fall along these lines that they are dealing with.
And I do not think it is unique by any means to the world of sports either. Like, I have no doubt that companies, corporations do this kind of thing all the time because they're like, you're going to be quiet and we're going to move on, business as usual. Whether it's because they like this person too much, whether it's because they would rather just pay out the money than deal with the headache, I have no freaking clue. But I bet all of those are possible things that happen in this situation.